Well, and just like that, I recorded the normal daily episode, and in that daily episode, I talked about a number of players that the Bears could sign that were on the waiver wire. Well, the Bears have made 3 signings today, and we're going to talk about it all right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. And sometimes you just got to laugh at how things work out, right? I just dropped the episode. Matter of fact, it's still uploading actually as I'm recording this episode, but news dropped. And as you guys know, when news drops, we drop. And so the Chicago Bears started off this morning by releasing defensive end Terrell Lewis, who I did get to talk about in the daily episode. And I talked about a couple of players that the Bears could now pivot and look to sign that were on the waiver wire. One of those players that I brought up was wide receiver Trent Taylor. Now, this is a special team guy, a more than capable punt returner, can also be used in the kick returning game, and he's more consistent than I would say Velus Jones. And so the Bears go out and initially with their first move today, after cutting Terrell Lewis, signed Trent Taylor to that deal to add some safety. But behind Velus Jones, I still expect Velus Jones to get the first crack at being the punt returner and kick returner, but Trent Taylor's there. If Velus does continue to kind of disappoint in things, he's there. He's not going to be used probably at all in the wide receiver part of the game, but as somebody who can focus strictly on special teams and be there as a safety valve for Velus Jones, it makes complete sense. This was one of the better moves by Ryan Poles because, listen, you need some insurance behind Velus Jones. He has not showed enough consistently yet to where you can trot him out there and not have a solid backup just in case. Trent Taylor is going to provide that. He could even potentially pass up Velus Jones if Velus Jones disappoints even outside of Dropsy Jones and all that. So Trent Taylor, I look at this as an extremely solid signing by the Chicago Bears. But the Bears' next couple of signings, I think I like these a lot as well. The Chicago Bears have also claimed Khalid Kareem off waivers, as well as defensive back Quindell Johnson. Kareem being a defensive end that's played 3 years in the NFL. He was drafted initially in round 5 of the 2020 draft, and in that time, he's only had one fully healthy season, and in that one healthy season, he had 9 solo tackles, 1 sack over there. But over the course of his NFL career, over 3 years, he's played 27 games, has 29 total tackles, 15 assisted tackles in that, 14 of those being solo, and then he has 1 sack over the course of that time. So again, this is a depth piece, still another young player that, as far as Terrell Lewis, he's a little bit better in the running game than Terrell Lewis was, and so that may be because of that being a huge part of the Bears' flaws last year as far as that run defense. They could want some depth in that. Now, I still personally probably would have kept Terrell Lewis, but this is a signing that the Bears did make. They made a pivot from Terrell Lewis to Khalid Kareem, still an extremely young player. I think they're around that same age. That a player that still showed a lot of promise. The biggest question with Kareem is, can he stay healthy, right? And so, the Colts signed him to their after roster. He appeared in only 4 games in 2022 and then signed a 1-year deal for the 2023 season, but he got cut. So we'll see. In 2020, he appeared in all 16 games for the Bengals, getting that 19 total tackles and 1 sack. This is a depth piece. Let's be clear here. This is strictly a depth piece, but one that could pay off for the Chicago Bears depending on how the rest of that defensive line shape up. Next up, the Bears signed safety Quindell Johnson. And so this is a guy, he was born in 1999, extremely young guy, doesn't have a lot of history under his belt, right? This is a young guy who's coming in, and we'll see what he can end up turning into for the Bears. But this is the Bears doing a lot of what they did last season, right? I kind of look at this being similar to the N'Keal Harry deal from last year. A young guy that has some promise that you want to kind of look at and see what he's going to end up being. But, the Bears could definitely take a look at somebody who is going to project farther out for that team, right? And so, we'll see. He was on with the Rams. We claimed him off waivers from the Rams. He's a rookie. So with that being said, no at all sample size for him at all, but the Bears may have seen something in him, right? And so he was an undrafted rookie that the Los Angeles Rams signed, and we've talked about before, Ryan Poles having success with those undrafted rookies. So that could be something that we'll end up seeing if it pays off. And, it won't be probably something that we see much this year just with the youth, as long as we have that health in that secondary. But, a defensive back in Quindell Johnson who can play safety. Read that he's also played some cornerback. I don't know how, again, not as tagged in with the Los Angeles Rams training camp and day in and day out. But, hey, this is a guy that he was cut. The Bears see some promise in. And, we'll see. We'll see, man. So, they were selected. The Rams were trying to get him on their practice squad, but since the Bears have claimed him off waivers, he will be a Chicago Bear. Let us know what you guys think on all those signings down below. Make sure you're following the show at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearsCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail, the number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. Thanks to you guys. And like we like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, Bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.